we never believe that the game is over until it hits zero. That's just the God honest truth.
It's gone. Tyrese Haliburton does it again.
It is Sunday night in Oklahoma City, and we are ready for Game 2 of the NBA Finals. After a heartbreaking loss, how will the Thunder respond, hoping to even this series at 1 apiece? Meanwhile, the Pacers are looking to take a dominating 2-0 series lead. The fans in this building are already loud, ready for another night on the biggest stage in basketball, and that man, Tyrese Haliburton, was all the rage after Game 1. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hoop Streams, presented by Google. As always, I'm Vanessa Richardson, joined by my guy, Iman Shumpert, but we are so happy to have John Calipari with us. Coach, the Pacers have a flair for the dramatics. What were your thoughts after Game 1?
Well, they seem to play better when they're down.
Yes.
And they really pull it out of the hat. I was in New York. They're down 8 with a minute to go. Iman, I left. I got in the car, a 2-point game, went to overtime, and they lose. So they're good at that. But Oklahoma City has Shai. You say what you want. They got really good.
They got the MVP.
They definitely got the MVP. When you got an MVP, you know, at the end of these games, a lot of times you can pass them the ball and kind of let them control your fate. I thought that OKC just did a little too much leaning on him, and, you know, tonight I want to see them share the sugar a little bit more.
Williams is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Caruso does his thing.
Yeah.
Big boys, they got a terrific group. The two, Case and Wallace, played for me too. Really good. The two Arkansas guys, Isaiah, Jalen.
Now you named all these guys. Why you ain't come get me out of Chicago then?
All right, speaking of Shai, it's time to take a look at what fans are searching for, presented to you by Google. According to Google, searches for Shai versus Pacers was a breakout search in the U.S. after Game 1. He had it going early. He led all players in scoring despite the loss. But it was this quote after the game that had our ears burning. Listen to this.
Yeah, I think as much as we can, we just got to treat it like every other game. Every other situation we've been in. Yes, we haven't been in this situation, but it doesn't mean our character has to change or what we did last time. It's still basketball. It's still the game of basketball that we grew up playing. The rules don't change just because we're in the finals. So it's like we've been in this situation before. In the other situation, we handled it well. We were better for Game 2, and that's the goal.
Okay, so you coached SGA at Kentucky. Where was he coming from on that quote? Because it caused a little bit of a stir on the internet.
If you ask me what would he say, I would tell you that.
Yeah.
And part of it is his demeanor. He has a championship demeanor. You can't speed him up. You can't get him out of whack. There's no emotion to it. The second piece of it, he's protecting his team. He knows this is on him, but he's telling them, just relax. We're going to be fine. It was one game. It's just the next one. Let's go.
And you were able to hug him, as we saw before this Game 2. Iman Shumpert had a little bit of a different reaction to that soundbite.
I did. And it's crazy because now that I hear what you said, him defending his teammates, I didn't think of that aspect of it. So I do appreciate that leadership quality in him. It's just the teams that I've been on, I've found more success with guys on your team that haven't been there or don't know how big that moment is. When that moment comes, sometimes you got to grab them by the jersey, shake them a little bit and say, hey, we here. This means more. This is the playoffs. This is not the regular season. This is not just a game. We need this game. Let's lock in. And that would be my mindset when I first saw it. I was like, if I was a player in that locker room, that might have upset me, but I've never played with him.
Do you think he meant that during the game, or he was just saying what he said after the game?
Might have been different in the locker room.
Got it out. I just, having 2 days to sit there and think about how we let a game go and seeing that clip, it would anger me.
Yeah, I've watched a bunch, believe me. My last game, we were up 20 and gave one up. But let me just say one other thing. I've coached 2 MVPs, Derrick Rose and him. Shai. They're both the same great teammates. Shai won't do an interview after a game unless his
guys are there.
Yeah.
I love that.
What are the similarities between them on the court?
And well, they're both driven and wired to be special.
Right.
Like they want to be the best. Both of them had the same kind of demeanor. Derrick Rose wouldn't take a picture unless he had teammates around him. So they had a lot of the same stuff. Derrick had a little different twitch, you know.
I know. Chicago guy.
And Shai is one that never can speed up. Every shot he can get what he wants. They're different that way.
Right.
But the makeup, the DNA, the same.
I can say the same thing. When I watch them, that nonchalant.
You're a Chicago guy.
Yeah, for
So
sure. That nonchalant that they wear on their face, when you're playing against them, it's hard to deal with. You don't know if he's tired. You don't know if he's frustrated. You don't know if he's hot right now. You just don't know. And they don't say much. They don't speak much. When they do show emotion, it's already too late. So, yeah, I get the similarities in those. The only thing that I see different is D. Rose is one of those guys that likes to push pace. D. Rose, he'll make you fall asleep and then turn it on.
And dunk on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I think that Shai does a good job of just putting you to sleep. If you're not patient enough, if you can't sit in your stance for long enough, he lulls you to sleep. And then you forget how tall he is. You forget that he shoots with that perfect L on his form. You forget that he's picking spots like Kobe, and that's where he kills you.
Well, SGA and the Thunder led for pretty much the entire game until it actually mattered, the very end. What was your reaction when Tyrese Haliburton's shot went in?
Well, at this point, we know it's coming. If I'm OKC, he's not getting the ball at the end of the game. I was surprised that they're not doing more to take that ball out of his hands at the end. He's shown improved it now. Whatever you throw at him, he's going to take what you give him, and he's not afraid of that moment. Picking spots in those situations, the 2-foot stop right there without the step. It's calm, it's collected, it looks like he wants to shoot it. If you look at the Pacers bench, they're all jumping up and down because they know it's going in. All his guys are waiting for him to score. It's not even so much I'm waiting with my hands ready in a shot pocket. It's like at the end of the game, I just want to see what he does. And anytime you have that trust, I think he's starting to get the trust of the arena on the road that this shot is going in. If I'm on that team, end of the game comes,
you think
not
he has
touching
a
the ball.
chip on his shoulder?
Without a doubt. It's a big potato chip.
Him.
It's a big potato chip. But he might have ate it already. He got so many celebrations right now. Seriously, he's too dangerous. I would definitely deny him the ball a la how I did Steph Curry down the stretch. You just don't get it. You can't play today. I'm sorry.
Coach, what impresses you about the makeup of this Pacers roster?
Again, they are all doing their role. And they're letting Haliburton do his thing.
Yes.
And no one's fighting it. You know, every player from guards to bigs, they're like, wait a minute. You know, some of them, I forgot how good they were until they kept advancing, and you're looking and you're saying, now, wait a minute. You know, this team is pieced together. Second thing, they will play 9 guys in the first half.
Yeah.
So they'll figure out who it is.
And what works.
Yes, and they'll go with it. You know, Rick's really good. They're both great
They're
coaches.
both great. It's an insane coaching matchup.
Yeah.
Brilliant, like 2 very brilliant minds. And we were so happy to have a brilliant mind join us for the beginning of our show. Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Absolutely. All right, somebody that's definitely made some noise in the playoffs, Pascal Siakam. Iman and I were able to sit down with him yesterday. We are with the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Pascal Siakam. Thanks so much for joining us. You've been on this stage before. You've won a championship. What traits does this Pacers team have that makes you believe that y'all can get it done?
I think we have just a mix of, veteran players, young players, and, we play defense and we play offense. I think those 2 things, you always need that, to be able to win. And also we're together. Like, we're a team. Like, it doesn't matter who scores what, who does what. Like, I think at the end of the day for us, it's about the win at the end of it. So that's all we care about. And it's a blessing to be on a team like that. I love just, playing free basketball and just having fun, and that's what we do.
At the end of games, because you guys have put together some of the best end games that we've seen really in the history of the game as far as coming down to a late second decision. But when we talk about the mindset of coming down to the end, what makes you guys say Tyrese is our guy or Siakam's our guy tonight?
Yeah, no, I think it depends. I mean, obviously, Tyrese has been amazing. So, it's obviously he's probably going to get the ball. But I think it's just a game situation, to be honest. Like, you know, at the game, you saw Drew with the ball. Another game is going to be probably me, or, you know, we're going to run pick and rolls for Miles. Like, it could come from anywhere, to be honest. But most of the time we know that, you know, we're going to trust Tyrese to make that shot, but it could be anybody, to be honest.
The word unselfish comes up repeatedly with this Indiana Pacers team. How has that unselfishness propelled you guys in the finals?
Yeah, I think it's why we're here, to be honest. If you look at the way we got here, it's different people every single game. There's different, you know, like players making great plays, and it's all about that is for us, you know. And I think, you know, coaches do a good job of just preaching that, and we just all believe in it.
We are seeing the brilliance of Rick Carlisle on full display. What's the most underrated part of his coaching?
For me, I like his communication. Like, he does a great job just communicating with us. I think for me, like, I'm always the type of person that's just in the cut somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of always, you know, send messages. Like, he's active with that, you know, just talking, communicating, making sure that we're on the same page, and I appreciate it as a player.
We've heard some quotes from other guys saying, you know, it's just another game, and it's just another game. How do you communicate to somebody that this moment is that big? Yeah,
no, it's a big moment. I think it's a balance within, you know, just trying to make it too big, and also just making sure that it still hoops at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I think it's just trying to find that balance, embracing the moment. Everyone is watching us. Everyone is on vacation, and we're in the big stage. You got to embrace it.
He just threw a shot, guys.
No, no
he
shot.
Just said
no
everybody's
shot.
on
Y'all are in
vacation.
Cancun.
It's not
Cancun, Bahamas, enjoy.
Nah, it's not a shot. It's just at the end of the day, the whole world is watching us.
Yes.
And it's a blessing. So you got to embrace it and be happy about it, but also understand that it is a big moment. And for me as a player, I got to the finals my year 3, and this is the next time I'm back. It's year 9 for me. So it doesn't happen a lot. So you gotta give everything you got.
That's dope.
Best of luck, Pascal. Thank you for your
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Man, absolutely loved chatting with him, and we absolutely love the environment in here. It is lights out. The lights above us are bright. I've got Iman Shumpert, as always, and we are joined now by Brian Windhorst. And by the way, you can listen to these two pretty much right after the game on the Hoop Collective podcast. They're going to break it all down. Brian, you've talked about Andrew Nembhard being an unsung hero. I've talked about Obi Toppin. But where does Pascal Siakam fit into that success story for the Pacers?
He's so important because he can do so many different things. He enables them to play big when he's their power forward. He enables them to play small when he's their center. He can bring the ball up the court. He can defend in multiple different positions. He can offensive rebound. He can defensive rebound. He can push the pace. He can do so much. And for a team that relies on so many different players and so many different alignments, he's one of the through lines. And by the way, he led them in scoring.
Yeah.
And he had 10 rebounds. Nembhard was huge. Haliburton was the hero. Siakam was the rock in that second half.
What have you seen from Siakam?
I can agree with that. I think the best thing about Pascal Siakam is, one, he's pretty efficient. You don't see many games where he's just forcing it or searching for his offense too much. So he plays within the construct of the team. But what you said, getting rebounds. He got some offensive rebounds that was so key last game, but he keeps the train on the tracks by hitting those tough twos. Those back to the basket tools, those quick pull-ups. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting excited. But, but he hits those tough tools that calms them down every time it seems like it's gonna get out of hand. So he's gotta continue to be, as Brian says, the rock for that team.
Absolutely. As the Oklahoma City Thunder, you can see, are taking the court behind us before what we expect to be an exciting Game 2. The end of the Game 1, though, it was all Tyrese Haliburton, and we are getting used to this with Tyrese Haliburton, hitting absolute daggers when it matters. And we wouldn't be a legitimate sports show if we didn't have a little Mount Rushmore discussion at some point during the NBA Finals. Shall we? Is Tyrese Haliburton in the Mount Rushmore of clutch players? You got Robert Horry, MJ, Reggie Miller, Tyrese. What do you think, Wendy?
Well, LeBron James has a bunch of game winners in the playoffs. So, with all due respect to Reggie Miller, I might want to squeeze Mr. James on there.
We're going to have a lot of people watching that don't like that.
But the fact that Tyrese Haliburton is legitimately on there when he's in his 4th or 5th season says a lot. It's not just the last second shots. He has made clutch shots in the last 2 minutes for the entire season, okay? So this is not just a run of the last couple of weeks. This has been a run that's been 6 months long.
Overrated. You think that kind of a influenced and gave him some motivation?
I think it gave him motivation. But I'm more impressed with just his demeanor now. Like, before game 2, looking at him, seeing how loose he is, how calm he is. There's no pressure. They've been putting pressure on him all year. It hasn't really existed to him. He's smiling big. His dad's here. He's having a good time.
I saw his dad before the game.
His dad's having a good time.
His dad's living his best life.
I want you to know, John is guaranteeing a win tonight. I wouldn't expect anything different, but he's guaranteeing a win.
Our producers tell me that we have another Mount Rushmore.
Another one.
Here we go.
You're not. Oh. Hoop Streams Mount Rushmore.
I love it, man.
Our girl Shanae. Oh, look at us. We look good as a Mount Rushmore, don't we? I love that.
Shump looks spectacular.
Hey, how come Mike and them eyes was white, though? I want the white eyes, too. I want the white eyes. They look most scary.
I love Haliburton's shot for a lot of reasons. He's brought so much excitement to basketball, the city of Indianapolis. But I also love it because it's giving us an excuse to show this. This is game 1 of the 1997 finals. Jordan beats the buzzer to lift the Bulls over the Jazz.
Wonderful pull up!
And we got our Chicago native here, Sean.
Wonderful pull up! Everybody wanted to do that as a kid, but only Kobe did it.
Do you remember the shot,
Only
Iman?
Kobe could do it. Nobody else could do it. You got to hit the shot at the buzzer to do it, man.
Iman Shumpert had a physical reaction, by the way, to us showing that highlight.
Hey, if he do the Michael Jordan, hey, Tyrese, I don't know how many more celebrations you got in your bag. But if you give me the Michael Jordan fist pump, I'm getting your jersey. If you get a buzzer beater for the win, and you do Michael Jordan, I win.
I love it. All right, it's going to take a lot to contain Tyrese Haliburton. You have to do it by committee, and a big piece of that will be Alex Caruso. Shump and I talked to him yesterday as well.
Alex, as you guys look to even the series, what do you need to see from your team in game 2?
Yeah, just a little more execution, just on some of the stuff. I thought we played well in game 1. You know, we were leading for most of the game. You know, everyone kept talking about how it was like, you know, reminiscent of game 1 against Denver for us in that second round series, and there's a little bit like there's a little bit of likeness to it, but you know, for us it's just about finishing the game.
How do you script putting together a better end game as far as looking at Indiana and saying when they win games at the end?
Yeah, some of that is not letting it get to that point too. Like we had chances to like extend where we kind of played in crowds or forced shots at the, like, you know, the not necessarily the rim, but like, you know, the 5 to 10 foot range where maybe we could play off 2 feet, spray it, get some cuts, stuff like that, to where, you know, you extend it from 12 to 15 to 20. Now all of a sudden when they go on a little 9-0 run, hit, you know, banking a 3 or something like that, it doesn't quite have the impact. Yeah.
I love the story of you and Mark because it's so unique. He was your G League coach. What has it been like
D-League coach. I was in the D-League. Yeah.
What
It was before we became the G.
What has it been like to grow with Mark?
It's been fun.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put you out there for being cool.
It's fine. That's
I
like,
wasn't
it's
gonna
like a
put you
badge
out
of
there.
honor to have the actual D-League jersey. It's been cool. You know, me and him, even, you know, between then and now, stayed in touch, and like we would try to get dinner like once or twice during the season when we would see each other. My parents would like say hi to him every time he came to like Chicago or LA. So it's been good, and it's been fun just to get here and like get to work with him again, because we both had, you know, a lot of growth and a lot more experience, and so our basketball knowledge and our love for the game has grown so much.
There's guys that sometimes, like I've caught myself being that 3-and-D guy sometimes, and you get stuck in that corner, your feet get stuck, you're not moving anymore. I've watched you not accept that and go to the rebound, get out in transition, 50-50 balls. How do you keep yourself feeling like you're part of the game the whole time?
It's just trying to make an impact, dude. Like that, it really is just, it comes down to just like competing through every single moment. When I first got into the league, I was like strictly like you said, defense, run to the corner, get back, and from there, like I tried to perfect that and really hone in on that. But like through the years, I've worked on more of my game, worked on other stuff, like because I knew the more minutes I got, the more trust I got, you get a little longer leash and you can start trying stuff. Now you're working on your game.
Not a headband coming out.
Yeah, not a headband's out.
Hey, we like the
celebrations
headband
and stuff. So
we like the aura. Last but not least, the team chemistry on this Thunder team is real and very apparent. How does that chemistry off the court help with the chemistry on the court?
Yeah, it's great. There's a high level of trust. High level of belief that, you know, the guy's going to have your back, you know, and also having that high level of accountability that you need to be a great team and to be great players, because everybody messes up, and it's just about course correcting and getting back to whatever your best is. And I think we do a great job of just holding each other to that standard, and the trust and belief just backs that, and it's easy to go out there and play with these guys.
Great stuff. We really appreciate your time. Good luck.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Time now for the Game Changers, presented by Cheez-It. How about Andrew Nembhard? 14 points on 4 of 11 shooting in Game 1, including a monster three-pointer with 2 minutes to go. He was clutch in the fourth, scoring or assisting on 16 points. Wow. He was also, of course, the primary defender on SGA on a lot of those possessions in the fourth. And while stopping the MVP is nearly impossible, Nembhard did have him noticeably frustrated at different points in the game. We are happy now to be joined by NBA analyst Tim Legler. And Tim, what impressed you the most about the end of that game for the Pacers? Just how they kept their composure.
Their composure, their execution. I think what they did also, they took advantage of the fact that Oklahoma City, they overreact to any penetration. Yeah. When you're down 15, you're going to need some three-point shots. They understood that if they could get any penetration, there was going to be 2 or 3 weak-side defenders flooding into the lane. It was going to be very difficult to make closeouts. And they hit 5 3-pointers during that stretch. So I thought they maintained composure. They never thought they were out of the game. At the exact same time, it looked to me like Oklahoma City just got a little bit tentative offensively, almost as if they were waiting for the clock to run out. Indiana just kept playing, and eventually, you leave that door cracked against that team, they're going to kick it in.
Nembhard and SGA, a little bit of a back and forth. Is there power in being able to agitate this Oklahoma City Thunder team?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Listen, I think what you're going to see tonight, and what I've seen out of Oklahoma City time and time again this year, when they have a bad performance or they lose a game, even in the playoffs, what they typically come out with is a lot of determination and ball pressure at the start of the game. I think you're going to see a level of intensity out of OKC at the start of this game. That's going to be something that's going to be special to watch, because that's the way they typically react. I know they forced a lot of turnovers in the first half of the last game. I thought a lot of those were self-inflicted on the part of Indiana. Sloppy pocket passes, like trying to force the ball into Siakam in the post. This is going to be more about OKC's ball pressure, creating opportunities to get out, and this time convert those into points. They did not do that in the first game. That's very atypical for a Thunder team.
Shump, you've been on this stage before. What's the key to containing those emotions with a team that might get a little emotional?
I'm not one of those guys that contain my emotion. I wore my heart on my sleeve. I felt like screaming. I screamed. Any dunk I got, I tried to make it extra to bring as much energy out of the building as I could. If I'm the Thunder, I'm rolling with the energy. I'm playing with the passion. I'm yelling to my teammates. I'm getting everybody engaged. Whether they playing or not, they need to be sweating right now. If I'm Indiana, I'm just going to continue to play how we play. These guys are getting out. They're playing loose. They're having a good time. They came in here game 1. I know it felt like they were alone. Right now, it feels like I'm seeing more Indiana fans in the crowd. It's a weird feeling, but I know the feeling. If you're on the other side, you start to feel like you got a chance in here, and that's what you want.
And Brian, when it comes to the coaching matchup, we are watching 2 of the best. The playoffs are all about adjustments. What do you think you're going to see tonight?
All right, first off, the starting lineup is a big deal for Oklahoma City. They changed their starting lineup in game 1. I'm not sure that I understand the strategy of it, but all the players I talked to thought that would be uncomfortable. And in all honesty, they were up by 12 points at the half. I feel like if they were more comfortable, they'd have up by 25. And that was really allowed the Pacers into the game. So getting comfort with the lineups is key. The second thing is with Indiana, their small ball, what Rick Carlisle did, he did something fascinating in the fourth quarter of that game. He subbed 5 guys at one time. He did a 5 hockey man sub, and they went on a 15-4 run. And I almost think that the Thunder had a few minutes where they weren't quite sure what the matchups needed to be. So when they go small, the Thunder have to be more prepared to be more flexible. The Thunder tried to match their small ball. I don't think the Thunder can beat them at small ball. I think the Thunder have to stay a little bit big. Don't fall into the trap of only playing small against them. I think Indiana is better equipped at it. So let's see how Carlisle manipulates the lineups to try to trap the Thunder into that.
Tim Legler, what are your thoughts on the coaching matchup?
Well, listen, one thing I didn't like was going into the very first game, switching up what you've been doing late. I just didn't like it. I think what it sends is a signal, and I'm not going to overstate the psychological component. I mean, this is the best team in the NBA. But you are sending a signal that I'm very concerned about what they do, and I'm worried about something that they do, and so we're going to change up. one of their advantages was the Hartenstein-Holmgren combination.
Not a doubt.
But they were deadly. I mean, Denver had no answer for that. The number of times they connected on interior passing in that series, I thought getting away from that right from the beginning, I understood you can't play them both as much in this series because this is a 5-out team and Miles Turner's a 3-point shooter. But to not play them a single minute together in an entire game, when that's a big part of what your identity is, it's why you got Hartenstein in the first place. I think you're going to see more of them on the court together. I don't think he's changing the starting lineup. It's going to be the same. I do think you're going to see those guys together tonight more.
Especially down the stretch.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has taken 30 shots in 2 of the last 3 games. He only took it 3 times the whole season. And then in this game 1, he only had 3 assists. It's the fewest assists in the playoffs. Look, he can score. He's the leading scorer in the league. He's squeezing it a little bit.
He still plays point guard.
He's got to move the ball. Got to move the ball a little bit.
SGA scored 38 points. Shump, you've talked about this. Do the Thunder need to be less reliant on SGA?
Not less reliant. I think that the wording should be they should play as if he's not even on the team, and that makes them play within how they play. Still play comfortable. Whatever you do, continue to do it, but don't do it with the idea that I'm not supposed to shoot this. I'm supposed to give it to him, and he's going to get us a good shot. Try and get a good shot. Exhaust the dribble. Use it on the baseline. Create matchup problems. Create closeouts. Because when SGA gets the ball and he's attacking a closeout, he's impossible to deal with. If he's got a whole team loaded up into a shell, everybody's communicating, yeah, we can get a stop. And I think that that's what they need to see. Indiana needs to see somebody attack, somebody close out, another pass happen, and now you have to guard the MVP, and you don't know what help is behind you.
The Thunder are favorites for this game yet again. Tim, why do we continue to count out the Pacers?
You shouldn't by now, obviously, right? I mean, listen, the one thing about them that should be obvious by now is even on nights when certain guys are having slow nights or their team is having a slow night, they never get out of rhythm in their heads. So when the time comes to make a run, they're still collectively together. Like, you don't see guys in huddles exhibiting frustration. You shouldn't count them out. And one thing Oklahoma City did not do last game, they did not put this team away when they had the opportunity. They should have been up 20-plus at halftime. They didn't convert those turnovers into points. Right, so now they're within arm's reach. You can't let them be within arm's reach if you get them down tonight. You've got to go ahead and bury them. Hit them with that final run that ends it. They didn't do that the other night. Indiana's going to come out and get you.
And Alex Caruso said that to us. So what is the key, Shump, to burying them?
I think they need to realize that that second half, Indiana took away their second help. That guy on the backside that is usually there to be that tag man, which is what Lou Dort and Jalen Williams do so well. They are that weak side help defender, and they're there for the help. And then there's a second help man that happens. It forces you to take a shot that you might not generally want to take because it's the second corner pass. But if they can't do that, what they need to do is, like I said, down the stretch, when they see it's a 4-possession game, they have to do what he said and bury them. Bury them. Make sure that all your starters finish on the bench.
All right, Shump, game prediction. Who wins tonight?
I think OKC wins tonight. I think they bounce back. They've been great at bouncing back after a loss. So has Indiana, but I think OKC take it tonight.
Listen, I'm not going to be shocked if Indiana wins this game because of how hot their offense is, but I'm with Shump. How do you really pick against a team that won 68 games in a regular season, that dominant of a defensive team? You can't really imagine them losing 2 in a row to start this series. So I also think OKC, and I think a headline is going to be Jalen Williams. If it's not, they're going to lose tonight. Jalen Williams has to be a name that we're all talking about after this game.
I totally agree.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you for watching Hoop Streams presented by Google. Should be a good one tonight.
Get loud.
Let's see, it is get loud in here. And the lights go out.
Lights out, we are here.